What up, guys? Welcome back to the garage, or just outside of the garage. We got our workstation set up, but today we're going to be building or making a picture frame. So the first thing you need to know is how big the picture is that you're actually going to frame. And so in this case, the size of the picture that I'm going to be framing is a 16-inch by 20-inch picture. Something from our wedding day, so I'm excited to get this finally framed. After you know the size of your picture, you're then going to want a picture mat that fits your picture. With a picture that size, you're going to want about an extra 2 inches on both sides. So the mat that I have here is 24 inches by 20 inches. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start working on the frame, and I'll explain a little bit more details about what you need to do when measuring out your lengths, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So for this frame, I'm going to be using repurposed red cedar, and so on the outside it looks like that weathered barn board that you'd look for, but on the inside it's got a really nice red color to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up and then cut an extra long piece of it, so that I can then be able to start cutting it into my strips. So down here, as you can see, I have some stuff that's not as great, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut that off right away. So I know that my picture mat is 24 inches wide, so I'm gonna add a couple inches onto the side of that since the frame is going to extend beyond that anyways. So I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter, you just wanna give yourself a little extra space so that when you eventually start cutting it down, you have plenty. So in this case, I'm just gonna give myself I'm just gonna cut this to 30 inches. So now we're gonna move over to the table saw, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the edge of this. I might also just kind of remove this big dip in here. As you can see, it's missing a chunk. Now, just look at the wood pattern in that. It's beautiful. Some good stuff. And on the other side, it looks really nice too. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to set my saw, my tabletop saw, at a 15-degree angle. So my blade is angled this way right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my guide, I don't know what this is called. Comment below, tell me what this is called. I'm going to set my guide to 1 inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 1 inch on my piece of wood just to double verify it. When I go to place this up to the blade, this mark should be right where the blade is. So we're going to do that. Like so. Now please keep in mind that while I was doing this, I had this unplugged. You can never be too safe, especially when dealing with tabletop saws, circular saws, miter saws, so on and so forth. So just be careful, unplug your stuff, be careful, yeah. Now we go ahead, turn it on, feed it through. And you end up with something like this. And we'll do that one more time on the opposite side. Now we got two pieces like that. All right, so I have two pieces that are roughly the same. See there, there. Okay, and obviously they're not perfectly straight. They got a little bit of warp in them, but you know, especially this guy. You can see they're opposed to the left, my left. This wood has got to be close to 100 years old, maybe. So you work with what you got. Now we need two more sides to this, and I was hoping that this is that last piece, or the piece that was in between those two. I was hoping it'd be wide enough that I could do a 90-degree cut right down the middle, but lo and behold, it is not. But I might be able to get one out of it. Nope, not an inch, so we're not going to be able to use this piece for anything else. On this project, I'm going to definitely save this and use it for something else later down the road probably. So now I'm going to see if those are also red cedar, these pieces, and we'll see what it looks like. Now this is not red cedar, but it kind of looks like it's oak. If you know more definitively than I do, let me know, but my best guess is oak. So we won't be using this piece. Let's try a different one. That's definitely red oak, so we'll use this guy. Now that, we're gonna have to take a little bit more off of that. I almost bet that was a carpenter bee. How big that is. Man, jeez. All right, so now we have relatively 4 identical angled pieces. That's kind of hard to tell, but so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we'll start talking about measurements and 45-degree angles and stuff. So to the compound miter saw. All right, so we're here with the compound miter saw, and like I was saying earlier, you got to know your lengths and whatnot. With a frame on the back side where the photo comes into, there's like a bevel. I don't know if that's the right terminology for it, but there's like a little inset. And so we're going to be using a router with a 1/4 inch, and that's the bit we're going to be using. It's 1/4 inch. All right, and that's going to help us with that recess. Let me put this back. All right, guys, so this is Oakley from the future, and I just wanted to jump in right here to say that I was editing this video and I realized it was a lot longer than I actually wanted it to be, and so I'm gonna stop it right here for today. I want a little bit shorter videos. I think that you guys are enjoying shorter videos more than the longer videos, and so I'm hoping that you guys will like it this way. But yeah, so you will see the second part of this video in about 2 weeks. I'm gonna start posting videos on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of each month. That's my goal, so hopefully I can stick to it. Now, if you are enjoying what you're seeing and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. And if you are a subscriber, maybe help us out, share the word, tell your friends about what you're seeing or what I'm doing, and I would very much appreciate it. So until the next video, guys, I will see you then. Bye. So, no, that's not gonna work. Let's see. So, and it adds a little bit of character too, so I'm happy about that.